and I'm with MYCommonwealth. I'm here with Jessica Zelinka. Jessica Zelinka is a Canadian all-star on the track. She does everything, mainly hats. An athlete, Olympian, wife, and mother, Jessica is quite accomplished. Thank you so much for taking the time to be with us here today.
Thanks for having me, Ashley.
Yeah, so I'm going to start with some Commonwealth questions because we are a Commonwealth organization. And I just want to ask you, what is your Commonwealth connection?
My connection is I'm Canadian. I've been to Commonwealth Games, but in general I've been to Commonwealth countries when I travel for track and field and compete against Commonwealth nations. So that's, I guess, my connection. Born, raised Canadian.
Excellent. So when you're at the Commonwealth Games, do you really find that there's a sense of family? People often refer to the Commonwealth as a family of nations. Do you feel that it's different than any other games? Is it similar to other games in particular, perhaps the Olympics?
Yeah, it's a good question because there is a little bit more of a connection there with the other countries because of the Commonwealth. And you know, usually I go to World Championships or the Olympic Games where it's like everybody, all the countries, and there's a lot of, you know, very different cultural backgrounds and all that. And the Commonwealth, you feel you're kind of tied in one way, and definitely I actually never thought of that until you mentioned it. But yeah, for sure, when I go to the games, I feel that.
And when you're at the games, do you feel that it's really a sense of like Team Canada and you're there for the win for the team? Or is it more, as a track athlete, is it more about the individual?
I think it's more of Team Canada. Whenever I put the Canadian uniform on, I'm representing my country, and although I have personal goals, I'm still, you know, representing Canada first, and you know, I always want to represent myself well and proudly, but in doing so, you know, I am representing something bigger than just myself, and I recognize that when I'm on the track with the Canadian uniform.
And we appreciate that. As I'm sure you know, MYCommonwealth is a youth organization, and we represent all the Canadians under 30 involved in the Commonwealth. And young people in Canada and around the world face a lot of different challenges. And you know, as a very successful individual, what sort of advice, in general and as an athlete, would you offer to other young people?
I guess the advice I would offer to young people, now that I'm over 30, I'm not in that category, is to try to find whatever it is you're doing or choose to do in life, to try to find people around you with the same mindset or the same goals, or that recognize what you're striving to do and will support you. You know, it's easy to get caught up in other groups that may not reflect the values you hold, but because of pressure or whatnot or circumstance. So to really just surround yourself with people that lift you up and help you to achieve what you want to achieve.
I find that sometimes in a lot of coverage there's a stigma surrounding female athletes.
Okay.
Have you ever experienced a stigma as a female athlete? And what would you say to other young women or girls who want to get involved in sports?
What kind of stigma have you?
Well, some people talk about how, you know, female athletes aren't fun. You know, do you find that you've ever had experienced people say, you know, comments in that realm of?
Well, yeah, now that you mention it, I never really thought of it too much, you know, around my body, right? And it kind of stands out because I have a six-pack. And
you're a strong woman.
I'm a strong woman. But then you get comments, oh, she's on drugs, you know, like an athlete can't possibly be physically fit because they take care of their sleep and their diet and they work hard, because that's not possible, right? So that's a bit of a, you know, it's sad. It's sad that a female can't be super fit and be totally clean and just because they care about their body.
Totally.
Yeah.
So what would you try and say to young women and girls to encourage them to push past that and pursue a career similar to yours?
I guess just ignore it. That's the thing. Until you mention it, then it came back to me. You know, just ignore it. Let it slide off your shoulder. You know, hear it and let it go out the other year.
Just brush it off.
Just brush it off. Okay. It'll be, no matter what you're doing, there will be critics out there. There will be people who judge you all the time. The most important thing is not to judge yourself for it.
And just be who you are, and be strong.
Yeah, the hardest thing is being your own critic, and that's the hardest for me to get by.
Do you find that you are your toughest critic?
I think so. Yeah, for sure, for sure. And it's helped me on the track because it helps push you and whatnot, but also can get in the way mentally and whatnot if you're always judging yourself and not just letting it happen or just letting things go. Just let, you know, okay, you made a mistake, let it go.
Perfect. Well, I think that's all we have time for today. Thank you so much for joining us, and good luck at the games, hopefully this summer.